Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I achieved this red dot sort of holographic sight effect in Unity. It's really easy to make, it just needs a couple of custom Unity shaders. You can see it's got this sort of parallax effect thing going on. Yeah, let's have a look at how I achieved this. So here's my setup. This is a gun from the Cinti Studios military pack. It's a really great pack. And it comes with some gun prefabs with some separate sort of attachments. And see, it comes with this this separate sight attachment, and to this sight, it's got this separate glass object attached to it. And so to the glass is a new material with a custom shader applied to it, Stencil Mask. Now this is the first shader we'll be making today. And as a child to the sight, I've actually got this crosshair object. So you see down here. And to this crosshair, again, this is from the Cinti Studios pack as well, this shape. This has a material applied to it, which is sourcing from a custom shader stencil object. So this is the second shader we'll be making today. And you'll see what these shaders are doing is that the stencil object shader is not being rendered on screen or by the camera unless it's rendered through the mask shader. So see, it's constantly there, it's just invisible, then it gets rendered when it's coming up through the gun sight, and then it goes invisible again. So this is actually achieved using something called Stencil Shaders. Sebastian Lag has a great video on how these work, and I've basically nicked his code. I had to make a few minor tweaks to get it working, but it's mostly the same stuff. I'll put a link to his video in the description. Yeah, so let's have a look at how to create these custom shaders. So you just right click, create, shader, standard surface shader. I'm just going to call this example for now. Let's have a look at this. So this is the Unity auto-generated shader, and with a few minor additions, we can get those two custom shaders going. So let's have a look at, first of all, let's have a look at making the stencil mask shader. So if I just right-click Edit Shader, you can see what I've added to make this shader. So if we just compare it to the Unity default shader, you see I've added a few things. I've added this Q transparent part to the tags, Z right off, stencil ref1 pass replace, and to the pragma I've added this alpha property as well. So that's about it for the stencil mask shader. Let's go back. Let's have a look at the crosshair now. So we have a look at this. Right click, edit shader. So comparing this again to the Unity default sort of generated shader, a few additions have been made. I've added these emission and HDR properties, and then to get those going, I've added in this emission stuff down here, and this line as well. And then I've also added in to the tags Q transparent, crucially transparent +1. Don't forget that needs to be +1. And then stencil ref1 comp equal. And that is about it for the two custom shaders. So really easy. Let me zoom out a bit here. So to actually get these two shaders applied to your own game objects, if you'd find your glass material and just, I see I've already done it here, but so typically this would just be standard. I'd find my glass, I go up here, shader, custom, stencil mask, and then if I wanted to make like a new material for the crosshair, I just go right click, create, material. Up here in the shader, again I just go custom, stencil object, red, and there you are, that's my own. I'd probably put the HDR up a bit as well, just like here, something like that, so it comes up bright red. And there we are, there's a new custom material made. So if I have a look at the actual crosshair, see here I've got the stencil object shader applied to it. If I just made this a standard shader, it's always appearing at the end of the gun there. See, it's not being occluded. But if I then went in, shader, custom, stencil object, again, just whack up the HDR. You can see now it's coming up invisible, and it shows up in the side of the gun. And so that's it. What's really great about this effect, I think, is that it's really customizable. I've got a fine-grained control over where the crosshair is appearing in the sights. So if I wanted to make the crosshair appear closer or further away, so let's make it close, If I wanted to change maybe the dimensions, maybe I change the size of it. I could also change the color of it, maybe to something like green. It's really easy to make those changes. So if I play, you can see now I've kind of got this whole new custom sight effect. I think the HDR might be set up a bit, because coming up, you see it's coming up as a bit faint there. So let's just go ahead and set the intensity up and just change this to green. So now if I play again, you'll see that will fix that issue. So it's always going to come up as this bright color, no matter no matter how much shadow you're in. So that's really the effect achieved. Really super easy. Again, credit to Sebastian Lag's video for the code that I shamelessly nicked. Watch his video if you want to understand how this is working. Yeah, if you've got any questions or if something's not working, hit me up in the YouTube comments. I'll try and answer your question. Great. Thanks. Catch you later.